So what we've got here, this is my first time trying straw bale gardening. I'm a big fan of not having to till or plow or use a hoe, because that's just not fun when it's 85, 95, 100 degrees outside. So we're not into that. We just like planting and growing things. So this is year 2 of the garden. We just have, today is April the 19th, 2020. We just have put these tomato plants in that we've started from seed. Give you a little history here. This is year 2 of the garden, like I said. We established this garden just in a regular yard. We had a guy use a tractor and rotary tiller. He made a couple passes here. And then we immediately covered it up with cow manure, sawdust, and straw. I wanted to retain as much moisture as I could, and hopefully, probably ineffectively, not lose much carbon, because that's what happens is when you till ground, you lose carbon, you kill microorganisms, you lose moisture. Sometimes it's necessary, but I like to keep it to a minimum. So this is 1/3 of our garden right here. This is something we're trying new. I put the mower deck down on the lowest setting. I scalped the ground to the dirt. I immediately covered it with this paper. It's like a weed barrier, cheap paper, breathable. And if you look here, that was about a month ago, and you can kind of see, if I can get under it here, that, well, you can kind of see that it's been pretty effective in killing the sod. Like I said, I just put the paper down after I mowed it, scalped it, covered it up with straw from a year ago. These bales actually, you can see what's left there. They sat out since last year's Christmas parade in the rain. You can tell there by the seed sprouting out of the bale. They've been out here a while, so they're pretty heavy, full of moisture and mucky, which is kind of how I wanted them to plant plants into them. Don't want them dry and new. So what I've used is just actually flags that came with our dog fence, invisible fence, whatever you can find, and I measured every 3 feet. I like to keep my tomatoes at 3 feet spacing so that I can, for the most part, get in between them. Otherwise, we send the kids in between them once they get big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rake this straw back in this experimental section of the garden and expose the weed barrier. Start on the end. Try and stay in line with my flags. If you look, you can see this gritty stuff. So that is lime that I put down after the weed barrier and the straw. No, not to do that again. I was being lazy. Should have done it right the first time. So what I've done is in-row spacing. I like to put them 2 feet apart. That gives them enough room to kind of spread out and not be bunched up on each other. And so this is the weed fabric I said I put down. Didn't know how it was going to work. It killed the sod pretty good. And then I just do like you do a perennial shrub. I just cut an X. Make one slice. And
No.
hold that back. And then there's where I will dig a hole for the tomato.
No. You can have Chloe in a little bit of it.
Right up here, dude. There you go. Thank you. Alright, so what I'm doing, the weed fabric was pretty effective in killing, if you want to come in here and look. Pretty effective in killing the sod, but I'm having to use post hole diggers because the roots are pretty intermingled in there and pretty tight still. I just dig a hole deeper than I need to, and I leave some loose dirt in the bottom for the roots to have some expansion room, and we'll go from there.